Characteristics of feudalism. There are four main characters which were present in all the feudal systems of the societies at that time in France, in Germany, in England, although they had different terms for different kinds of arrangements, but there were some things which were very common. And in number one is the system was based on give and take. The kings received taxes, military aid, and sometimes fruit from their vassals. Vassals are the people who were responsible for carrying out certain activities. They can be called assistants. The peasants, in return, were protected by the crown, and the system was based on the rule of give and take. Second is loyalty was very important. The land were not given at one place to avoid threat of rebellions, which brought peace in the empire. Then all parts of the feudal system dependent on each other. From the crown to the peasants dependent on each other, the king was only answerable to the church. But the church was independent. It was also granted a large piece of land, but since it was independent, it did not pay any tax to the king. The three-field system was practiced during the medieval period for cultivation, which is very interesting, and we do it mostly in our agriculture also. Each year one field was planted and other two were not, so that the soil could rest. The remaining two fields were used as a pasture where the farm animals grazed, and this rotational cycle ensured that each field was rested and a good crop yield was achieved year after year. It ensured that the land was not over cultivated. If we plant on a certain part of land every year and all year long, what happens after a certain time? It becomes barren. It is not fertile anymore. But if we follow this three-field system, what happens? The fertility of the soil remains healthy and you can get crops for a longer period of time. Now, how did this feudalism system ended? From 14th century onwards, feudalism began to weaken because of many reasons. First was Black Death. It was a disease which was spread throughout the Europe, killing more than a quarter of the population. And since there was shortage of labor, there were no people to work for the king, the bonds of the feudalism weakened. Then we have the other reason, rebellion against power of monarchy and feudalism. The people, they started to liberate themselves, they started to rebel against the government. And by the end of 13th century, the trade, commerce, and coined money was established. So the lords, local lords, they could pay with money instead of performing military services for the king. So the feudalism weakened. Trading activities flourished and the peasants moved to the towns where they were free to make a living of their own choice. So they were no more working on land for their knights or their nobles. So feudalism got affected. The nobles became weaker because there was no one to work for them and they could not work on the land themselves. So their land and power was lost. The soldiers were paid wages and a centralized government was established. In this way, the feudalism ended. The Black Death or plague was brought to Europe by the Mongol invaders. Most historians believe that it was caused by germs that infect black rats, and the disease spread to humans by the fleas that live off these infected rats. It is also possible that due to poor hygiene, the disease rapidly turned into an epidemic. Whatever the truth, the causes of the plague were not identified because of lack of knowledge about germs at that time. The Byzantine Empire, the Roman Emperor Constantine's decision to move his capital to Byzantium had enhanced its worth, that area's worth, as it became the center of the Roman Empire, and Byzantium was a former Greek town in the east with an important geographical location. How is it important? It was located in the middle of the Bosphorus Sea, Black Sea, and Mediterranean Sea. So from all three sides, it is covered by seas. So the trade routes passed through it, and the ships that used to anchor there, they had to pay heavy taxes. So the area became rich. Constantine rebuilt Byzantium and fortified it. Fortified it, made it stronger with defensive walls and towers, and he renamed the city Constantinople. And it lasted for over a millennium after the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century. It was ruled by different leaders who turned it into one of the greatest and most powerful empires in Europe with a rich culture. Some of the noted Byzantium emperors are Arcadius and Constantine XI. Even in 980 CE, Vladimir I became the ruler of Russia, and impressed with Christianity and Byzantium Empire, he converted into a Christian and proclaimed Christianity as the official religion of Russia. Relations of Byzantine Empire with neighboring countries. As the Byzantine Empire was located on the main sea route, so it had strong diplomatic ties with the other countries because they had to trade and they had to use the sea route for trading. So they had good relations, but on the other hand, the empire also faced attacks at different times by different invaders due to its prosperity and economic growth. Everybody wanted to get a hold of this area because it was very strong economically. So the Byzantine Empire passed through different periods of losses and gains. During the early Muslim conquest, it lost Egypt and Syria between the 10th and 11th centuries. It was defeated by the Seljuk Turks. After the Fourth Crusade, the Byzantine Empire could not recover, and in 1453, Ottoman Sultan Mehmet II attacked Byzantium and ended Europe's long-lasting rule on the empire, and this started the golden period of the Ottoman Empire in this region. And other interesting thing is that Mehmet Sani al-Fateh conquered Constantinople in 1453 and gave an option to the Christian scholars to leave for Western Europe. He did not kill them, he forgave them, and he gave them a safe passage to all those who desired to leave. Once these scholars arrived in Western Europe, they rekindled the Renaissance. So Western Europe owes a great deal to Mehmet Sani for the revival of the ideas and creativity during the Middle Ages. Okay, students, now what you will do is, first of all, you will conduct a research on the Black Death. Hagia Sophia, a church's picture on page number 11. You're going to find out about that building. You will compare the feudal system of the Middle Ages, medieval ages, and the feudal system of Pakistan. You will also research that as you've read about the Black Death, it was a plague, an epidemic. So have we ever experienced such epidemic or pandemic in our country or not? You have to give your opinion on that. Best of luck. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.